So, we are less than 24 hours away from the new GTA Online DLC coming out, which is essentially an entire quality of life update. There is going to be, its own part that will have, DLC content that isn't just going to make it, entirely quality of life changes. But for the most part, while this is a major update, it's not going to be the same type of update that we've seen from our big December updates, that we usually see, like our Cayo Pericos and our casino heists and stuff like that. So the entire update, more or less, is a quality of life update, or at least that's what you'll think. So, apart from the major quality of life changes, the big one that everyone's talking about and that we're going to talk about in this video here is right after the pay increases section of the newswire. Right at the bottom, after it talks about all the, heist changes and heist, payouts and all that, you get a little bit of information down here that also says all heists will have a assigned cooldown with a one in-game day, 48 minutes when playing in a group, which more or less means that after you complete any heist in the game, from the heists that are getting a pay increase to Casino Heist and Cayo Perico, you will not be able to start a new one until 48 minutes of in real life time have passed. But that's not the only way that they're nerfing Cayo Perico, as the title would suggest. They're also going to be nerfing it in the same way that people majorly play Cayo Perico, and that's through solo routes. Just after saying that, solo playthroughs of Cayo Perico's heist finale will also trigger a cooldown of 3 in-game days. That's roughly 2 hours, almost 3 hours. If I go into Google and I multiply, 48 by 3, that's roughly 2.5 hours of time that you have to wait if you completed the heist solo. But that's not the only way they're nerfing it. It also says just after that, and when stealing a high-valued primary target within the Cayo Perico heist, the higher value primary targets will appear less often for the next 72 hours. And that's not 72 hours of in-game time, that's 72 hours of in real life time. 3 days of in real life time will those targets appear less. Now, let's just be honest. What are the two main reasons that Rockstar are doing this? Or what are the two main reasons that I believe that, they're doing this, more or less? The first reason, which is the reason that everyone has been telling the entire community about, they're doing this to encourage people to do other activities in the game and not strictly use Cayo Perico for money making. Because let's be honest, Cayo Perico is the best money-making method we have ever seen in GTA Online. In fact, it's so good that it's basically unbeatable by anything else in the game. And of course, there's an argument to be made and say that it's better to combine it with other ways of making money, such as passive income from like motorcycle club businesses and the gun running bunker, and especially the nightclub, the best solo business or solo friendly business. Sorry. But the reason a lot of GTA YouTubers, and to an extent, including myself, have been speaking on this and explaining why this nerf is most likely good for a lot of people is that it will encourage people to play these new activities, especially since they're getting a pay increase. But the second reason that I talked about a minute ago, which I have no evidence for, but it is strongly suggested that this is the main reason, is shark card sales. Because as I said before, Cayo Perico's money-making potential is essentially unbeatable. You could, if you really pushed it, you could make upwards of $2 to $3 million solo, mind you, solo, within an hour and 10 minutes. And that's if you really speed ran the heist. And even before they nerfed the numerous glitches within the heist, the most infamous one being the solo gold door glitch. You know, the one where you would take cover on those multitude of doors, angle your camera a certain way, and the door would just glitch open. Before they patched that, you could make upwards of like 3 to 4 million every time, because gold's the highest value. And it was also the easiest in terms of filling up your loot bag. It's also how people were able to get 6 to 5 minute Elite Challenge speed runs, because it was just that easy. But with this nerf in effect, as I said before, a lot of people see this as a good thing, and a lot of people see this as a bad thing. Where do I see this as? I personally see this as a bad thing, a really bad thing, in my opinion. And the reason why I see this as a bad thing is because the Cayo Perico heist was advertised as a solo oriented thing. And this entire update, to a large extent, is being advertised as being more solo friendly. If I actually go back real quick and we check out the section at the top up here that explains a lot of the quality of life changes, or let me actually go back to the newswire to click on this one right here, because I believe this is where it is. I could be wrong. Yes. Okay, so this is the one that has all of the like detailed changes and all that stuff. While it isn't explicitly stated, there's a lot of big suggestion here that is, like I said, meant to suggest that this entire update, while there's going to be a ton of quality of life changes, there's also going to be changes that will help people who are primarily solo. Right here, just at the top with executives, there's even a part that says an executive office will notice new staff manager Lupe ready and able to help you source additional cargo for your empty shelves. What does that sound like to you? That sounds like turning the special cargo business into passive income, which is like a nice way of saying, hey, we understand that not everybody plays this, and we understand that this is essentially a team-oriented business, so we're going to help out those people who are also playing this solo. That's what that strongly suggests here. I could be wrong on this. We'll have to see. But it's strongly suggested here that it's going to be, a big help for those who want to do everything solo. So my point still stands. Why are they nerfing Cayo Perico so hard for people who want to do it solo? Like I said, I don't have evidence to support my claim, but I strongly believe it's because of shark card sales, because of how much money could be made from that heist. And Rockstar couldn't just nerf the payout of Cayo Perico, because people would have started a bigger riot about it had they not have done this. Another thing as well that also wants me to believe that they did this primarily for shark card sales, there's a ton of quality of life changes that will get people, really talking about how good Rockstar has been treating GTA Online. Not only that, there's also a ton of communication just in this newswire, as well as evidence being shown of what these changes are going to look like. Because usually, Rockstar doesn't say anything about a new update. And yes, this is another prime example, because they didn't say anything about this update until about a week ago. We only had to go off of speculation because this update technically got delayed. It was supposed to come out last week, and then it got delayed. But the reason why I say this is a ton of strong communication is because Rockstar never usually does upcoming improvements newswire. They usually would have a detailed patch list, or a detailed update patch list of what came in the update. And I'm pretty sure they're also going to have that down as well. But you would also never have screenshots like this that would show these changes in effect. Being able to put low grip tires on any vehicle that can go into the LS car meet. That's a quality of life change, but Rockstar would never do screenshots like this. If we scroll down, they're showing in another screenshot how they are going to enhance the quality of life when it comes to adding armor and adding snacks to yourself, or being able to put them on faster without having to go into the menu over and over, and you can do it like that. Not only that, there's also a little bit of teaser in here as well that'll also show what I presume to be one of the new special cargo missions, but that's not what we're really talking about. But again, my point still stands that they never do stuff like this. And in my opinion, it's all meant to be damage control to get people to not primarily rage or just get enraged about the fact that they're nerfing Cayo Perico. And I think that that's really, really bad in my opinion, because what's going to happen next? You know, what are they going to nerf next that they can just cover up with more quality of life changes, or just can bring out a new update that people aren't quite enthralled about, and then at the very end add like the smallest little bit of detail that'll get people to kind of ignore what happens. So yeah, that's just my opinion when it comes to this entire nerf. In my opinion, to conclude this video, I don't think Cayo Perico should be nerfed as it's being nerfed. If they were going to nerf it, I think it should have only been nerfed with the 48-minute cooldown. I don't think solo players should get nerfed as hard as they are. The primary targets thing, you should have not added that in the first place. You should have just left it the way that it was already. Because like I said, I can understand the 48 minutes, but I do not understand changing the primary targets and making it almost more impossible than it already was to get stuff like the pink diamond. Because now it's going to go from, oh, tequila, the thing that I knew was the most common thing that I never wanted, to now that's probably all players will ever be getting with this new update. So, yeah, with that being said, Rockstar, I'm just a small YouTuber. My voice doesn't mean anything, but I think you should really reconsider this Cayo Perico nerf. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys.